Good afternoon, everyone. So we know each other for one semester at least, and maybe some of you have interacted more with me. So no need to introduce each other. I just wish you a belated Happy New Year and welcome to the open elective on optimization methods. So it's a very useful tool for engineers as such, and it can be applied not only to engineering but many other fields such as management and research of any type, economics and so on. So being a general tool, it is offered to all disciplines, and my focus on this particular course, optimization methods can be seen in two ways. One is either as a mathematical approach, which lies at the base of it. So you have certain amount of mathematics. But as engineers, we are not fully complete just with theory, or if you know how the things work, we have to make the things work. So programming or coding is also an important part of this course. So that is an important skill as an engineer you should have. With more and more information and data available to you, almost now all devices getting connected with each other and a lot of data coming in. There's a huge scope for optimization, and already engineers have to know this particular topic. So in today's session, we'll just briefly introduce some basic concepts behind optimization, and also side by side I will cover some modalities of running this course. So that is how many assignments. We will have some 2 course projects, so which will give you opportunity to do some research or study on your own and solve some real life engineering problem. So that is the real takeaway from this course. So you can either, since some assignments or most of the assignments are based on programming, you can copy paste and submit the assignments. But yeah, if it comes to that you are very much stuck up for time, that is okay. But you try to do some understanding. Even if you copy paste, just understand what you are doing and then proceed. Okay, so this subject optimization method, let's first understand what is optimization. So I will just share one video, which is autonomous vehicle, which is running on some optimization code. So autonomous vehicle are having many technologies behind them, and main technology on the surface, or which is a very buzzword, is artificial intelligence or machine learning methods, based on which this the autonomous vehicle get their autonomy. But at the base of all this artificial intelligence and machine learning are the optimization methods. So let's see one short clip which shows how means we'll discuss this video from our point of view. Okay, what is getting optimized in this particular thing? So it's an autonomous car which is running on some complicated, not complicated, but a curvy road. So we have to look at it not as a mechanical engineer, but as a student of optimization. So we'll discuss what is optimization with respect to this video. So the audio is not there, but it doesn't matter for this purpose. So you can see that vehicle is moving on very complex path and there is no driver. So it is a driverless car. And at the bottom screen, you can see the entire track. And that red line is the prediction which is done by the controller or by the AI agent or AI machine inside it. This is just another view. So I want you to think and tell me what is getting optimized in this particular case. So all of you are able to see the video, I believe. So what was getting optimized, if at all, or it is not optimized, it is not optimization case, then you can say that also with some explanation. So can you tell what was getting optimized with this autonomous vehicle?
The path.
Path was there already.
Sir, the deflections from the path, sir, is it?
Okay, so means instead of asking what is optimization, I'm just let me ask it straight away. What is optimization? And then we tell what is getting optimized in this.
Sir, to make something more better, more reliable.
Okay, so better, reliable.
By consuming least possible resources.
By consuming least resources. Okay, my writing may not be very legible, but it doesn't matter for this purpose. Means at this stage. Okay. Are you able to read what I have written? The font is okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, now, yeah, that's right. So in layman's language, something we are making better, reliable, and consuming less resources. So what video we saw, if we have to explain somebody that as a optimization case, we have to first tell what is getting better, more reliable, and what we are consuming least in this case.
Sir, by getting less deflections from the path, we'll consume less fuel.
Less deviation.
We'll need less fuel because of less deviations.
Less fuel. How less fuel? Can you explain? Means how less fuel? Means you mean to say that car which consumes least fuel is the optimum car?
No, sir. Actually, for that track, like if the vehicle should go on that exactly track and should not cover more, like there should not be very much deviations from the path. The path actually is the least possible distance that needs to be covered. So if any distance that is covered more will consume more fuel.
Okay, so but there were barriers on either side, so there was very less chance anyway for that car to, in the sense, yeah, that is okay. I got it, what you're saying. So instead of that car going, one car which is going smoothly and another car which goes like this, so you're saying this is less optimum and this is more optimum. Maybe that's what you're saying. Less deviation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. What else? That's right.
By calculating by estimating the path on its own, like while trying to estimate the path on its own, it tries to optimize the error so that it can make its own path.
Okay. So what is less deviation? What he said earlier. So less deviation or less error. So these fluctuations are minimized. So these deltas which are there, which are getting minimized.
Less time to complete the path.
Okay, that is another angle that you are bringing. Less time. That means time or speed. So the optimum car will have less deviations from the theoretical mid path it will consume less fuel, and it will complete it in smallest possible time. Is that what we are saying? No, there is nothing right or wrong. When there is not mathematical proof that we are discussing, we are just understanding what is optimization. So every optimization problem will have something to be optimized. So we are discussing in this case what is getting optimized or what is getting. We'll see. We'll define proper verb for that later. I would just want to have you to think and tell me what verb is synonymous to optimization, or to optimize is equivalent to what?
So the car may have automatically registered the percentage of error it can handle so that the number of iterations it will do to detect the path is less according to the speed of the vehicle.
Okay. Okay. My question was what is getting optimized here? So I got three answers. One is we are reducing the deviations from the mean path. Second is we are reducing, or means we are minimizing the fuel, and we are maximizing the speed or minimizing the time required to complete one circuit. Is that what should complete the definition of this goal of this car? If we have to define it as a optimization case, means suppose we have to make specification for this car, then what it should be doing, means what should be the goal of this car? What should get optimized? What should become better? It's in your words, what should become better? What should become more reliable?
So the braking points of the car, the
What?
point at which the car applies its brakes as it's autonomous.
Yeah, it is autonomous. So the speed control is autonomous. So brake and acceleration are both autonomous.
So, sir, the point where the car applies its brakes can maybe be manipulated in order to provide better results.
Yeah, that is how you are achieving your goal. So you are telling how to achieve this less deviation by applying brakes and acceleration at appropriate times. So those are the means to optimize. But what is getting optimized? Do you agree that what is getting optimized in this case is either time to complete a circuit or amount of fuel which is consumed in one circuit, or what is the last one? Or amount of error. So if you count how many times it deviated from the mean path, that summation of all the error should be least. Do you agree that this could be the optimization goals for this case?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we arrived at one particular aspect of optimization, that is in any problem or whatever we are discussing in this course or outside also. In order to deal with that problem, we have to first identify what is getting optimized. So that in technical terms, we'll define some terminology afterwards. So there is a technical term for that, which we'll discuss afterwards. Okay, now having defined this goal, in order to achieve that, so what Pratyush was saying, that you have to apply brake at appropriate time, you have to accelerate at appropriate time, and steering also you'll have to control. He did not say that, I'm just adding that. So, okay, so what are the things by which you can achieve these goals for this case? So one is brake, that is a brake timing, acceleration timing. So these things you can control. You can vary these things to achieve your goal. What are the other things which you can which you need to control in order to reach your goal?
Gear shifting.
Gear shifting. Okay.
Having a better input feed from the cameras of various sensors.
Having the input.
Having a better input feed from the sensors or the cameras used to recognize obstacles.
Okay.
Shape of the car.
Input from sensors. Okay. Shape of the car. How shape of the car will help?
For aerodynamics.
Right. So it will affect the fuel efficiency as well as the speed.
Yes.
Optimized fuel.
Optimizing fuel is the goal. How do you achieve that? So Vedant, are you saying quality of fuel or what? What is the octane number of fuel or?
Kind of like based on whatever outputs we need, like if we need more efficiency and between trade between efficiency and speed, we can choose the perfect fuel.
Okay. So fuel grade we are talking. So that is a variable.
Selection of components like the engine or like anything that will affect the car's performance.
Okay. Okay. So the type of engine, type or capacity of engine.
So faster processing unit so that the error can be calculated faster.
Yeah, that's right. So faster CPU. So for this autonomous car, that is important to get real-time processing. Okay, so that is another set of things which any optimization problem you require. So first you have to define what are the goals of your problem. Second, you have to identify to achieve that goals, what are the variables which are available to you. There are certain things which you can, with which you can achieve your goal, by varying which you can either means you can reach your goal. So these are the things what we have obtained. Now beyond that, to complete the definition of the optimization problem, we require something more, and that is something like the means one starting point I will give, and then others you may tell. So the third dimension of optimization problem is the nature of track. So nature of track will tell the complexity of achieving this particular goal. So there are certain things which you can control, and there are certain things which you want to achieve, and there are certain things which exist. So the track is defined by somebody which is outside your control. So that completes the third dimension of the optimization problem, and together these three dimensions complete the definition of a particular case. So let's understand what is outside your control. So one is the nature of track or the trajectory, not trajectory, the path. What else is there which is not in your control?
Weather conditions.
Weather conditions. Okay. What else? Which will affect your performance. It's the
Mechanical failure due to poor material selection, or like the material itself has pores or something.
but material you are selecting, no? So that is controlled variable. Unless somebody tells you that you don't select steel, you select anything other than steel, or you have to buy from only one supplier. Maybe that's what you're saying.
No, sir, like the material we bought should be good according to our testing, but due to some pores or cracks, the material was defected. So depending upon our luck, the mechanical failure will be there.
Okay, okay. So you are bringing probability here. Okay, so okay.
Sir, maybe
Sensors.
So probability of
Interference to sensors,
interference.
to sensor readings.
Okay, so that is controlled by what? In the sense that happens because of what?
External conditions.
External conditions. Okay. So is it covered by weather conditions or it is?
Sir, maybe if there is some like electric or magnetic field existing, which is like not because of weather
Okay,
conditions.
got it. Okay. So other electronic devices are which will interfere with the performance. Okay.
sir, maybe wear and tear, which happens over time using it repeatedly.
Wear and tear. So wear and tear, where would you put? Would you put in this box? So let me call this box number 1, box number 2, and box number 3. So wear and tear is controllable or not controllable?
Sir, it requires periodic maintenance to maintain a certain level of efficiency which we require. So probably we can control it to some extent.
Okay, so I would put maintenance in this box. Frequency of maintenance, right? That will affect your goal, but it is in your control. That is just my interpretation. If you want to shift here, we can shift here also. But maintenance, I don't see it is outside our control unless you provide some logic, means give some justification otherwise.
The existence of some sudden objects on the path due to which it might need to deviate itself.
Okay, so that I would put in whatever that uncertainty what he mentioned about material. So that can happen in everything. Means all those parameters which we are saying controlled, they are controlled within some statistical limits. So when I say that brake timing, the precision is let's say 1 millisecond. So that is statistical average 1 millisecond in maybe 1,000 trials. So 1,001 trial it may be failed. So those uncertainties are external to some extent, and yes, they are there. So each of these control parameters, whatever we are defining, there is probability associated with those numbers. So whatever numbers we are taking for solving our problem or making of this car, each of them have got some kind of uncertainty or reliability associated with that, with these. So that I'm just putting them under the umbrella of probability, statistics, and uncertainty, or better, I think, reliability of all the components. So reliability is controlled, means we can select good quality parameters so that reliability can be increased, but it can be never made 100%. Practically 100% can be done, but theoretically it cannot be reached 100%. Okay, so reliability of the components will cover all uncertainties in material quality and other things what you said. Anything else which is beyond our control? I think that most of the things we have covered. So this we have taken as an example that an autonomous car, if one has to develop it, we have to first set target or goal what we want to reach, so which is there in any engineering product. But here we are looking at from optimization case. So we are trying to decide a parameter which we want to achieve as in the best possible way. So that is one aspect. The second aspect is in order to achieve that optimization goal, we have to have some controlling parameters. So that is another dimension. And third is there are some parameters which are outside. So those are the third dimensions. So when you are defining the optimization problem, these three dimensions complete the optimization definition. So let's look at how the optimization problems are defined, and where you will then understand why we are discussing this, or the background of this discussion will get clear then. Okay, so if you have to state the optimization problem, so I've just read the mathematical definition, and you have to tell me what component is what we discussed earlier. So it is find x bar. So x bar is a vector which contains number of parameters x1, x2, x3, x4, which minimizes fx bar, some function of these variables subjected to constraints, and there is some constraints are there. We'll discuss that later. So this is three boxes are drawn. So we have to tell which box is box number 1. So our box number 1 was the parameter which was our goal of optimization. So in this definition, which is the goal of optimization?
Minimizing f of x bar.
So minimizing f of x bar. So this particular term is called as an objective function. So just a terminology, nothing else. It is means henceforth in this class we'll be using the term objective function instead of optimization goal, but they mean the same. So in our case, the objective function for our autonomous car, can somebody tell what would be the objective function for our autonomous car? What we are trying to minimize. So here we will discuss why minimize is written and why maximization is not written. So if we have to state our design goal for autonomous car in terms of the fuel, how will you define it? What we are trying to minimize?
To minimize fuel consumption.
We have to minimize the fuel consumption. And what was the first thing? There were
and minimize errors.
Minimize errors, that's right. And
the time required to cover the track.
Cover the track. So the objective function could be defined. So there could be multi-objective optimization problems. We'll see that later. So in multi-objective, you can have F1 X bar, F2 X bar, and so on. But in this course, we are dealing with only a single optimization problem. So we can either select fuel, or you can select time, or you can select the error. Okay, now the X bar, which are the variables through which you are achieving your objective function, they are the second box what we discuss about. So those means obviously you can tell, but I'm just repeating that it is the parameters like the timing of the brake and material selection, fuel selection, and all that, which are in our control. So those are known as design vector or design parameters. So that is the notation X bar, capital X bar we are using to denote the variables. So there will be x1, x2, x3, where x1 is braking time, x2 could be quality of material, and so on. So the variables could be of various types. They could be integers, they could be booleans, or they could be real numbers, and so on. And finally, we are talking about constraints. So the constraints, mathematically speaking, and for optimization later on we'll see that there are two types of constraint help us to define the problem in better way, or the sum of the algorithm works on certain constraints in a other manner. So the last part, which are outside our control, that is called as a constraints in the optimization terminology. And the constraints are of two types. One is that of inequality type. So we want something to be less than another thing. So mathematically you can say that A has to be less than B. So for example, we want, so let's take example of one of the constraints that we talked about. So let's take the nature of the track. So how do you quantify the nature of the track? And what would be the constraint? Okay, so we want to express nature of track as some function of this input variable. So these are our x bar. And let's say we want to define nature of track as a function of these variables.
The width of the track would have to be of more than a certain amount.
Can you repeat?
The width of the track would need to be more than a certain amount.
Yeah, that's good. So width should be greater than certain amount, or other that is the concession you are asking. The constraint would be it should be less than. I'm just saying physically what you said is perfectly right. I'm just making it more realistic that width, if it is more, then your problem becomes simpler. So it will become more challenging when width is smaller than certain amount. So, okay, so that's a very apt example that Nathan has given. Okay, so similarly, you can define for other conditions as well, and that is what is required in defining the optimization problem. And there are other type of constraints which are equality constraints. So can you tell equality of constraint again for the track?
So maybe the slope of the track should be equal to 0 degrees for it to work.
Correct. So it has to be a flat track, means perfectly horizontal surface or something constant slope. So that is a equality constraint. Or in terms of width, rather than saying width should be less than something, the fixed width is given. So everywhere the track has width equal to certain meters. So that becomes your equality constraint. Okay, so that is how a problem is defined. And then we are including some subscript. So n is the number of design variables. So you can have a problem which is 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, depending, n-dimensional, where n is the number of design variables. That is the size of your design vector. M is the number of inequalities, the inequality constraints, and P is the number of equality constraints. You don't have to remember this, but just I'll be using the book by S.S. Rao for most of the part. So the books are listed in the our course content, which is available online. So for most of the part, I'll be using the book by S.S. Rao, Engineering Optimization by S.S. Rao. So I'm using the same notation in this particular case. If you refer to other books, you'll find that the notations will be almost always same in all the books as far as these definitions are concerned. Okay, if M and P are equal to 0, that means there are no inequality constraints and there are no equality constraints, then it is called as an unconstrained problem. So some problems are unconstrained. So can you think of any problem which is unconstrained? So there are no limit, there are no external limitations. Can you think of something which is an unconstrained problem?
The number of nuts and bolts which we use.
The number of
Nuts and bolts which we use.
Okay, yeah, that's very creative answer. Yeah. Okay, that's right. Okay, so that is practically because they are cheap. Usually they are cheap. So in general, in all practical problems, cost would be the most important case, and the design, the objective function is sometimes also called as a cost function. So something which has nothing to do with cost, so we are assuming that nut and bolts are negligibly contributing to the cost. So in that case, you can use any amount of nut and bolts, and that becomes, if you define that as the parameter of your optimization problem, then it would be an unconstrained problem. Okay. Yeah. So now let's discuss about this minimizing case. So I said that the optimization problem is defined as a minimization problem. So why it is minimization? What will you do if the problem is maximization? So let's say we want to maximize something. So our car racing, what could be maximization goal?
Efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency is to you want to maximize. So how will you define your problem? So is there a mathematical way of defining this thing? So this is a standard way of defining an optimization problem. Not that you cannot write it as maximize efficiency. You can do that. But all the algorithms which are written, if you are going for any standard code or standard library function, it would be written in order to minimize the objective function. So can you think of a way by which you can convert a maximization problem into a minimization problem?
Taking the example.
Reciprocal.
Yeah, Nathan?
Yeah, taking the example now what Akshay mentioned, to maximize the efficiency, we could minimize the fuel consumption.
No, you're changing the parameter. I want to deal with efficiency only. Suppose I want to deal with efficiency only. How
We
will you
can
define?
take the reciprocal of the efficiency function.
Yeah, that's right. So one way is to take reciprocal of the efficiency, your objective function. So in order to say that to maximize fx bar, you say that minimize 1 by fx bar. But that can lead to a problem which you can guess and tell me what is the solution. So what could be the problem if you take 1 by fx bar, which is as engineers you should be
0 in the denominator.
Yeah, 0 in the denominator will lead to singularity. So
Yes.
what is the other way of handling this, converting maximization to minimization?
If we suppose are talking about efficiency in percentage, then we can subtract it from 100%.
We can take any other decreasing function as well. Like,
That's right. What is the simplest way of doing it? That's right. Both of you are right. But you are making it more complicated. What is the simplest way of converting?
Taking a negative sign.
Yeah, that's right. So that is what is done. So you simply write, instead of increasing, that is maximizing efficiency, you have to say that you have to minimize minus efficiency. That is -1 into efficiency. So any problem which is maximization can be converted into minimization by multiplying it by -1. So I believe that is what next slide is. So the maximization function, as you can see here, if you multiply by -1, then it becomes the minimization, or vice versa. So in this way, you can define any physical problem into its mathematical interpretation. And once this definition is ready, then you can proceed with applying the different algorithms. So the algorithms are defined in terms of objective function, the design variables, the objective function, the design variables, and the constraints. So these are the 3 parameters which you should be able to, which you must identify for any problem that you are talking about. So in car racing, we just as a, we did not precisely define this so that it can be handled mathematically. So some of our parameters were nature of track. So we have to, in order to solve it computationally, we have to convert them in the quantifiable manner. So as we said, nature of track is something subjective, but we have to quantify it by saying that width should be so and so, length should be so and so, and so on. So that is how you compose a physical problem or real world problem into a form for which there are algorithms. So this course deals with different types of ways in which different types of problem can be solved. So in the next session, we will look at the different types of optimization problem. And for each type of optimization problem, there are certain well-known solutions which are available. So in this course, we'll be looking at some of the popular algorithms, and towards the end, we'll be looking at some more interesting nature-inspired techniques also, which will be more interesting. Okay, so that is what the main takeaway from today's session is this. Now let's apply it to some cases, which this will discuss in the next class. So I'll show certain pictures. So quickly we will discuss in, I think there are two, three cases. So you have to quickly tell what is being optimized. So what is the objective function? Then which parameters govern? So what is the design vector? And what are the constraints? Okay, so here we are talking about aircraft structural optimization. So structural optimization is, so what could be the objective? So aircraft can be optimized for fuel and many other things, but here we are talking about its structural optimization. So what?
Less stress on the wings and similar structural optimizations. Lesser weight.
Okay. Okay, so what would be the design vector?
Using composite materials.
The type of material. Okay, so here we have to think in terms of variables, quantifiable variables. So use of composite variables means you have choice either to use composites or non-composite, that is metals and composites. So it could be a Boolean variable. If you use metal, then okay. Is it clear that when you are talking about here, you have to talk about variables which are quantifiable. So rather than saying composite materials, we know that will reduce the weight. But if you use metals, but they are costly. So the cost is also coming in the picture somewhere. Okay, so what is the other variable which will control, which will minimize the weight? Assuming weight is the optimization objective function.
Probably making
So the type of beam structure to use, like hollow cylinders, is
Okay.
better than solid.
So frames
And
and components, right? So again, these are to be quantified. So you have to say how many number of straight beams, how many number of curved beams, or the diameter of beams, or moment of inertia of the beams, and so on. So everything should be quantifiable. That is the thing which I want to drive in. Because we have less time and just rushing through, you can think about it more carefully afterwards. Okay, and constraints in this case, what would be the constraints? So what are the constraints on your optimization?
Weather.
cost.
Weather.
The cost.
Cost. So the cost would be rather a budget. Cost can be minimized, budget can be okay.
Weight shouldn't increase after a particular point.
What should increase after a particular time?
Weight. Or else it can't rise. Weight.
Oh, no, I got it, but I'm just trying to means okay. So you are saying that weight cannot be very small as well.
Yes.
Okay. So that is error in defining the objective function that you are pointing out. So the objective function is not minimize weight. So you cannot make the weight to be 0. Okay. So that becomes constraint. Okay. I understand what you're saying. So weight should be greater than certain minimum number. Okay. That's right. So that becomes a constraint. That's right. So let's move to the next case. Okay, so structural optimization for bridges. So this being open electric curves, I kept some examples for civil engineers, but since here there are no civil engineers, you have to act as civil engineers and tell. So bridge, what would be the objective function?
Withstanding resonance, maybe.
Okay, so it should not resonate. So the natural frequency should be minimized, or no, I don't think natural frequency can be minimized. That would become constraint. So what you told Akshay is a constraint, that frequency should be less than something or more than something.
So the frequency should be out of range of something.
Yeah, so it becomes constraint as per me. If you have to define as an objective function, how will you define it? I am not able to.
So the
visualize that.
load carrying capacity of the bridge.
Okay, that should be maximized.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So load carrying capacity is what I can grasp easily. The frequency part I could not grasp as an objective function. So load carrying capacity to be maximized could be a simple objective function. Okay, so what would be the design vector, design parameters which will affect the load carrying capacity?
The shape of the stress, then the material.
The yield strength of the material. So always remember to have some quantifiable numbers for everything here, because we have to finally write it as a mathematical function.
The length of the bridge.
Length of the bridge, right? Length of the bridge would come as a constraint, I believe.
Points where it is supported.
Yeah, the number of supports could be a design parameter. So number of supports.
Also some expansion allowance.
Expansion allowance.
And some seismic allowance as well.
Seismic allowance.
The capability of it to withstand high winds.
So yeah, withstand high winds, or maybe if the bridge is over the water, then all those parameters.
No, they will become what? They will become design parameters or design constraints or objective function. The ability to withstand wind loads could be stated as objective function as well. So if you have to make it as a design variable, you have to define it in that way. So ability to withstand wind loads could be objective function. You want to maximize the ability to withstand wind load. But here we are saying we want to maximize the load carrying capacity.
The drag, right? That should be minimum.
Drag should be minimum. So it becomes an objective function. As soon as you say it should be minimum, when you say drag should be less than something, it becomes constraint. And if you are saying that it should be minimized,
we should minimize it, right?
Yeah, then it becomes a second objective function. We are already saying we want to increase the load carrying capacity.
Okay. Fine, sir.
So you can have multiple objective functions, but that is advanced level of optimization problem. So we are not discussing. We are here discussing single objective function problems. So all other minimization requirements, they have to come as a constraints. So we have to say that wind load capacity should be at least this much. That means wind load capacity should be greater than something, or whatever Prasad just now said should be less than something in that way. So it has to come as a constraint other than the optimization function. So optimization function is simply minimize and it will automatically get arrested because of the constraints. Like the airplane weight, we want to minimize. So theoretically, it can become 0 or minus negative also. But the other constraints will automatically not allow it to go that way. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is an important step that we have to understand about it. So the third is electric motor. So we don't have no electrical engineer here. So you have to again tell by common sense. So electric motor optimization. So what would be the objective function?
High torque.
High torque. So you want to maximize the torque. So torque capacity you want to maximize.
So the speed.
Design variable you are saying as a speed.
Yeah.
Speed or RPM.
The current drawn while at max load.
Okay, so the current drawn. Okay, as a mechanical engineer, I don't think we have point in discussing it. So let's move to the next example. Okay, this is something which you can tell. So production schedule optimization, I think you are you will be studying it in this semester in manufacturing planning and control. But by common sense, you can tell. So in production schedule, you are making a production schedule. There is some workshop in which some production is happening. So what is the purpose of making production schedule? That would be the optimization goal. So what is the optimization goal of a optimum production schedule?
No wastage of time.
No wastage of time or resources. So it can be better defined in terms of cost. So less production cost, which includes labor cost, machining cost, overhead cost. So in this case, a better optimization function would be in terms of cost. And what would be the variables? Cost in terms of money. The manufacturing cost is to be the manufacturing labor and overhead cost needs to be minimized. And the cost automatically takes care of what time somebody was saying about. So time can be converted into cost because everything in manufacturing has got its rate associated. So time is also counted in terms of money. Okay, so the variables, what could be the variables for this case?
So like selecting some kind of alternate materials.
Selecting the materials which are coming in the process, manufacturing process. That's
Yeah,
right.
like on which the machining might be very easy and less time consuming, less cost consuming.
Okay, so material type. So it can be material type A, B, C. So 0, 1, 2, something, some category.
The materials whose manufacturing processes are the same should be given at the same time.
Okay, that you are stating as a requirement. So what is the variable in this? So you should be able to convert it into a quantifiable variable. They should be given as a same time appears as a constraint. It doesn't appear as a variable.
Amount of time it takes to complete a certain activity.
Okay, so the manufacturing process will have different activities. So the activity times are the design variables. And the constraints.
So maybe the factory, like the process layout, so that there is no wastage of moving time.
Right. So layout again has to be quantified. So can you think of some quantifiable way of saying layout? you can draw layout on piece of paper or on drawing sheet, but how do you optimize it? For optimizing, you have to convert that into a variable. So maybe you have to count how many number of turns or how many number of reversals, something of that type you have to measure in that layout. So how many straight paths are there, how many corners are there, how many bends are there. So that could be a quantifiable variable. So remember, in the optimization problem, you should be able to quantify the things. Otherwise, you have to use something like artificial intelligence, which will deduce those things from image or picture. So we are not discussing that type of problem. Here we are talking about essential optimization, where everything should be in number form. So all problems that we are discussing in this course are of that type. So we are not discussing problems which are like pattern recognition or image recognition, which do the same thing without requiring these numerical inputs. Okay, so I think you have got a feel of how to deal with optimization problems. So we'll deal with the history and the types in the next session. So before we close, I just want to share few things. I just want to know how many of you know the Python, because for this course I'll be using Python as the code. So most of the assignments would be in Python. Your exams will not be on Python. So Prasad is saying yes. Okay, I will take a survey later on. Maybe I will just take a survey and find out how many of you know Python. But nevertheless, in the early part of the semester, because later on you will get engaged in many other things. So the coming weekend, you can get some grip over the basics of Python. One resource which I suggest is, I'll just so this IIT Bombay has something called as a spoken tutorial. So it consists of 10 to 12 minute modules, and they have got spoken tutorials for Python. So each of the module, so Python, there are total 39 modules are there. So that means about 390 minutes or 390 or 400 minutes. So you need not go through all that together. So each module, the initial 10 modules, if you go through, we'll get at least some feel of doing something, and then we can take some exercises. So next week we'll have some session where we'll practice writing simple code using Python, but it will be highly beneficial if you can spend some time. So 10 minutes ka 10 modules or 12 minutes ka 10 modules is 120 minutes. That is 2 hours. So if you spend 2 hours, you can complete some of the modules from this. You need not do everything in sequence, but you can pick some modules which you find interesting and complete them. So each of the modules will have a small video and some tips on doing that. So you can, so in this way, there is, this particular session is 12 minutes 28 seconds. So it will tell you about how to use the basic interface of the Python and so on. So you can simply run the video on half the screen. So you can keep your, that is what they recommend, that you keep the video in half the screen in one window, and the other part of the screen you use for practicing. So whatever is being shown in the video, you try simultaneously work on the right hand side by pausing the video intermittently, and that way you can learn faster. So that is what I recommend. And you can install the full-fledged Python system on your computer if you're having laptop, or on Android also there are some apps which are available. So if your laptop is not working properly or you don't have access to the laptop, you can use Android app also. So that is also available. Even Google provides what is known as Google Collaboratory. So that is a browser based so this is Google Collaboratory interface. So in this case, you can write your Python code in your Chrome browser or any browser for that purpose. So you have to just search on Google for Google Collaboratory and it will give you all the help. So in browser itself, you can run the entire Python code. Only you need to have internet connection because it runs on the Google server and you only see the input output on the screen. Okay, so these are the tips. So what point I want to drive is that in this weekend, you spend some time to get familiarized with Python. So that will be highly beneficial because this subject, if you just know the different algorithms, it is of no use unless you apply this. So my focus in this course is to have the skill in you to write the code to solve engineering problems, not just understand how the problem can be solved or do some simple problems in on pen and paper, but able to solve some sizable problems, not complex problems, but some sizable problems which cannot be manually solved. So you should be confident of handling them. So that will be hugely benefit for you when you reach final year to handle your projects. So that is the intention. Okay, so my talk ends here. If you have any questions, you can ask or we can stop here. So any questions? Okay, so I'm stopping the recording and the recording will be available to you. So all the sessions recording will be available to you.